Can the markets hold up against weak earnings? Let's jump in and take a look as we await earnings, real earnings season to kick off tomorrow. A few banks have reported, and a couple of the big banks are coming in strong because of high interest rates, but some of the other banks out there are still reporting missed earnings and guidance because of withdrawals and things of that nature. Google has come out now with a warning that Alphabet shares dip because Samsung phones may switch to Microsoft Bing. So that's put a little pressure on Google today. And they're also jumping out strong with AI with their Meet Bart. If you haven't checked that out, you should go check it out. Pretty cool little tool there, a competitor to ChatGPT. And Apple now is launching its savings account with 4.15% interest rate. These are the things that's putting pressure on the banks. If you didn't know, like Discover, if you have a Discover card, Discover offers high interest accounts as well, checking and savings accounts. Schwab offers a high interest account, although Schwab is down today because they face some withdrawals as well. Markets finished kind of flat overall, up just a little bit after being down for the day. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at the charts. This is April on the Dow the last couple of times. The big question is same time frame, March, April 2022. Here we are, March, April now. Are we going to see a repeat of March, April, May, June through October this year, just like we saw last year on all of the markets as this downtrend continues and earnings recession looms, which is not priced into the markets. That's the one thing the markets are not discounting right now. The other thing is with earnings under pressure, with record high valuations and interest rates up, with the Fed getting ready to hike again, where do the markets go from here? What's going to drive the markets past these valuations that are basically still at record highs, not all-time highs like they were at the peaks, but they're still record highs in terms of earning multiples and things like that. Bitcoin up against the major trend line that we were watching. It popped up above it briefly the other day when Gareth and I did the video. It did lose that trend line and is now rejected on it, just like it did April of 2022. So is this going to continue to hold it down and put in the reversal? And we'll just have to wait and see. A lot of this will be earnings weighted. So if earnings come out weak, then markets will probably reprice to that. And you could see a drop back down to that, potentially down around that $20,000 level, but it has 25,000 as a major support to get through first, and then back down to 20, and then ultimately back down to that 15, 16,000 range. So this major trend line here that's been intact really from the peak of April 2021, connecting the retracement here of March 2022 into the retracement here of April 2023. And let's just take a look at something here from a fib standpoint. So that first retracement was right at the 382 on the fib. Let's see from this drop, just out of coincidence, I haven't looked at this yet, where this one comes in and just above the 382, rejecting just below the 0.5. Kind of interesting, doesn't really mean anything, just something to look at. The one thing that's interesting is we take a look at the weekly here and put the weekly Gaussian channel on, and something we've been watching as well. Back in March, Bitcoin popped up above the midline of the Gaussian channel, rejected on the trend line, and went down for a drop from that point of about 62%. We looked at that the other day. Coming in right here, popped up above the midline of the Gaussian channel, still above it right now, has not dropped back down below it. So as long as it can hold above that, that's a good sign. But if it does drop back below there again, then you might potentially see another 60-something% drop, which ultimately would put it right around, let's take a look at where that is. We looked at it the other day. Dropping 60% from here would put Bitcoin right around, that $11,000, $10,000 level, somewhere around there. A lot of people think that that is just completely off the table right now, not even in the cards. And, as long as earnings stay relatively within expectations and the guidance looks good, the markets could continue to hold up for a while until we get into Fed meeting next week or in 2 weeks in May. The Fed meeting, they're going to definitely at this point, looks like, hike 25 basis points. They might provide the guidance that would be the last rate hike, but they are going to talk about higher for longer. They're not going to talk about rate cuts anytime soon. not this year until they get inflation down. So those are the things I'm looking at. I'll see you in the next video.